yeah, I need the police and the ambulance and that, because I've killed 4 people.
Okay, just hold the line. Bear with me.
In the quiet town of Sheffield, England, a seemingly ordinary family became the centre of a gruesome and unthinkable crime that sent shockwaves through the entire nation. The Bennett family, composed of Jason Bennett, Terry Bennett, and their 2 children, John Paul Bennett and Lacey Bennett, was once a picture of domestic bliss. However, their idyllic life took a dark turn in early 2020 when Terry and Jason decided to end their 14-year marriage, setting the stage for a series of events that would shatter lives. Before we delve further into this true crime story, we kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Less than 3 months after the divorce, Terry, 35 years old and seeking a fresh start, ventured into the world of online dating. Little did she know that this decision would lead her to Damian Bando, a 31-year-old man with a troubled past. Ex-convict Damian has been out on parole since March 2020. He was honest about his past, but Terry was drawn to the prospect of a second shot and agreed to be in the relationship. Terry expressed her wish to marry Damian and start a family, but she seemed to be blinded by love, despite his early displays of dominance and anger. Terry eventually persuaded her parents, who had been skeptical at first, that Damian had changed and was now looking for forgiveness. Unsettling indications started to surface as Terry and Damian's relationship grew closer. Damon's controlling actions intensified, and his anger invaded every aspect of their lives. But Terry seemed blind or purposefully uninformed, determined to follow her mother's fears and pursue a future with Damian. Realizing the danger, Terry's mother gave her daughter an ultimatum: break up with her or cut all links to her family. Terry made the terrible decision to choose Damian, which started a series of events that would have unthinkable results. In April 2021, Terry relocated to a new home in Sheffield, North England, with Damian living with her 2 kids, John and Lacey. The aggressive way that Damian handled the furniture during the transfer gave away that there was tension beneath the surface, and watchful neighbours knew right away that something was wrong. The neighbours observed as the family lived under the control of Damian during the ensuing months. Terry stayed in the relationship despite Damian's flirtations with other women, as if she was terrified of him. Damian, an addict, also turned to selling home items to support his addiction, which highlights the destructive nature of the family dynamic. The incident took place on the night of September 17, 2021. Connie, a friend of the family, was there for a sleepover that was meant to be innocent and fun. To start the day, the kids set up a sweets stand outside their house to collect money for cancer research. It was one of those easy, fun things that kids do when they have a sleepover. It was an activity that made memories that ought to have been treasured. They had no idea that the course of their lives would become so drastically different. Later in the evening, Connie's mother sent her a sincere good-night message over WhatsApp, the kind of regular correspondence that parents have with their kids, particularly when they have sleepovers. She had absolutely no idea that this would be her daughter's final communication from her. A terrible episode occurred inside the house's allegedly peaceful walls between 9:42 and 10 p.m. During this time, it is thought that all of the residents, including Lacey, John, their mother, and Connie, were subjected to heinous attacks. It's a scary concept, especially given the previous sweet-selling venture's innocence. The shock was revealed the next day when Bendel, in an odd stillness, dialed 999 on Connie's phone. His remarks were chilling. Basically, I need the police and an ambulance right now because I just killed 4 people. Officers arrived to find Damian calm and composed, confessing to the heinous crime. Bendel greeted the cops at the door, seemingly unapologetic and unaffected by the horrible act he had committed. The cops entered the residence, first hesitant, and were met with a scene straight out of a horror film. 4 victims, brutalized and almost unrecognizable, lay amidst blood-soaked surroundings. A claw hammer was located near the bodies and was eventually identified as the murder weapon. Terry, who was still alive but paralyzed, had been forced to watch unspeakable crimes against her children and herself. On September 22, 2021, Bendel faced charges for 4 murders and the later abuse of a girl under 13, all connected to a horrifying incident. In a shocking turn, he admitted to all charges. During interrogation, Damian confessed to the entire crime, revealing a level of depravity that shocked even seasoned investigators. He had returned home under the influence of narcotics, assaulting Terry with repeated blows to the head and face. The violence extended to the stepchildren, with Lacey suffering particularly heinous acts before her tragic demise. The trial, which commenced in December 2022 at Nottingham Crown Court, exposed the extent of Damian's malevolence. Forensic evidence revealed the horrifying details, including forced intercourse and the revelation that Cherry, Terry's unborn child, was also a victim. Witnesses testified about Damian's violent and possessive behavior during the trial, destroying any thoughts of a happy and stable partnership. Bendel's attempts to justify his actions in court fell short. Judge Nigel Sweeney was unconcerned by his allegations of a brain injury, especially because no testing had verified such an assumption. Even his drug use was disregarded as a mitigating element, stressing the gravity of the offense. His lack of repentance throughout the proceedings, along with a criminal record littered with violent charges, formed a picture of a man unsuitable for society. Damian's defense's attempts to plead insanity and claim amnesia were rejected, resulting in a clear guilty verdict. Damian Bando was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on December 21, 2022. The ruling of the court provided a semblance of justice, but the wounds inflicted on the victims' families, the town, and the nation as a whole were irreversible. Following the horrible murder, officials decided to demolish the house, providing relief to neighbors who had experienced the morbid curiosity of spectators wanting a glimpse into the dark. The victims' bereaved families, Terry's ex-husband Jason and Terry's parents, were left to deal with the irreversible loss of their loved ones. Terry, Damian, and the Bennett family's case serves as a sobering warning of the darkness that may hide beneath seemingly ordinary lives. It makes us think about the warning signals of abusive relationships and the need to pay attention to them. The narrative of Sheffield's darkest hour serves as a warning tale, asking society to stay attentive and helpful in the face of domestic abuse. So, what do you think about the severity of Bendel's crimes and the whole life prison term he received? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.